It's BBOR, Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? So, really, I wanted to just talk about some of the ways that you can help this YouTube channel because a small channel like this one relies on the support of all of you guys, the viewers. But you can't really support Black Box Online Radio with money or financial contributions. I'm not asking for something like that. The way you can help out is to go through some of the older content and share with your friends and family, share with your loved ones some of the lesser known true crime stories in the world. Because people tune into this channel because they want to hear about the Zodiac Killer, the disappearance of Maura Murray, the disappearance of Brandon Lawson, the murder of Missy Beavers. There's this human curiosity about some of the high level, well known true crime cases, and people are trying to get the truth, and they want to either guide me in the right way or to share some things that they genuinely believe to be correct about these high level true crime cases. But if you go to the description box, you will find a set of links that I will encourage you to share with your friends and family. Please do this. This is how you support Black Box Online Radio. The first is the Jim Bob Cooter in his underwear incident. I mean, if you haven't heard of that one, then I don't expect you have, because it's weird. But please share that with your friends and family and learn all about things like breaking and entering, unauthorized entry, and just how does the justice system treat people differently. What is the Skunk Ape is also available there. I think that was one that had absolutely pure positive reception. No one said a single bad thing about it. The Skunk Ape is a variant of Bigfoot that smells very bad. It comes to us from Florida, although there might be sightings of the Skunk Ape in Louisiana. And then next on the list is, why do women like jerks? That was a requested topic from somebody, and it's exploring some things that are a little bit more of the well, a different side of YouTube would really take on that one. Absolutely nothing to do with true crime in that case. Well, the Skunk Ape doesn't either. But then the final one that is in the description box that I would like you to send to all of your contacts, please. This is how you support the show, getting people to listen. Is called Slow Joe and Phony Kamala. Joe Biden is now our president, and the way that you can make up some good conversation with your friends and family, or maybe your work colleagues, or anybody on Facebook. Send them something political, talking about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the description box here. April Fools. You can listen to them if you want. No, this is the April Fool's episode. Please do not do that. Do not send anyone anything about the skunk ape or Joe Biden. Please do not do that. This is an April Fool's episode. In all seriousness, though, you can have a listen if you would like. I mean, these are episodes from the past, and sometimes there are these moments of outrageousness in the true crime world, or just something off the beaten path that's a little bit different, like the Jim Bob Cooter in his underwear incident. And there are genuine questions that we get to learn about from humanity. I kid thee not. As for the Skunk Ape, there are two episodes about Bigfoot here on this channel. I'm really not the person to do a larger series on Bigfoot because I don't personally believe that stuff. I get curious, I get fascinated, and I tune into that material from time to time, but I still think it would be so much more valuable if someone who actually believes in Sasquatch or some of these legends or has a stronger take on the subject than some skeptic like me. But I had a request come in once about how if you've never done an episode on the Mothman, would you be willing to do one? And I was like, well, I've seen part of the movie, The Mothman Prophecies. It's Richard Gere, isn't it, right? And Deborah Messing's in it too. I think I've only seen like 20 minutes of that. But I'm a West Virginian, and the Mothman is a very famous story from West Virginia. And someone was asking, like, would you be willing to do more paranormal, supernatural things as well? Like, that was the request, the Mothman or something more paranormal. I did a handful of paranormal episodes back in October for Halloween, and I love that stuff. But I can definitely tell that it's really not something that's going to catch fire and take off too well because um, people are just really wanting to hear about other things. It's tempting, though. It's tempting because as a West Virginian, I found this video on YouTube about the haunting of the Wells Inn, which is a hotel in Sistersville, West Virginia. It's like that I've been to, that we've gone to, of course, and stayed many nights there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I get that kind of, creative energy going. And I'm like, I want to, do some type of episode on that. But then I'm just like, maybe there would be a different way to share feelings like that. Simply getting on some forums and talking about it. Definitely focus more in on the true crime. And as for the political stuff, I rarely talk about politics anymore. I just did that one last year because of the kind of the announcement after Joe Biden announced that Kamala Harris was going to be his vice presidential running mate. In a recent AMA, I said that no one has ever asked that I not talk about a true crime theory, or they've never asked me to censor myself. But that's for the true crime world. People have requested, please don't talk about religion and politics, or they think that it's just not a good subject for the channel. I've had a couple of requests like that, and guess what? I agree. I mean, um, there are a lot of other political channels out there. That's why I don't think it's that big of a deal. And from time to time, this channel goes into some other territory, like talking about UFOs and what was that guy's name? David Fravor. It was a request from Steve to do one on the David Fravor UFO incident. That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff because in the past I had done one that I've now taken down on the abduction of Travis Walton from Snowflake, Arizona. He became the subject of the book and movie Fire in the Sky. That's the I think it was called the Walton Experience for a while, but now the book is also titled Fire in the Sky. And it's just there's so many holes in Travis Walton's UFO story. There's also an episode out on Riley Martin, who was the author of the book The Coming of Tan. Riley Martin was on the Howard Stern Show and Sirius Satellite Radio. He had his own show for a while, the Riley Martin Show. So there are lots of these out there, but I mean, like on other parts of the internet as well as on this channel, if you want to hear things about UFOs. As for Bigfoot, maybe we'll do something about it in the future, and you guys can have a listen to some of the weirder topics on BBOR, all in the description box, and, respond to it if you want. It's probably best not to share things about how Jim Bob Cooter got arrested for being in his underwear in someone else's home, but these things do happen, and the more that I do this channel, the more that you just, humanity just starts to baffle you. It just starts to just turn into this perplexing oddity. We were watching this thing on I think it was Netflix. It was Murder in the Mormon Church, and it's a 3 episode miniseries. It's a documentary miniseries. What is that called? A docu-series? And that's the most outrageous story that I have ever heard. It's the story of this criminal named Mark Hoffman from Utah, of course. Absolutely one of the craziest stories that I've ever heard. If you haven't seen that yet on Netflix, I mean, I just something to recommend. But for now, that was an April Fool's thing about sharing this stuff with your friends and family. Please do not do that, but you can listen if you want. Okay, in the description box is the Jim Bob Cooter in his underwear incident. What is the Skunk Ape? Why do women like jerks? Women don't actually like jerks. It was just a requested thing. And the fourth one is Slow Joe and Phony Kamala. Have a listen if you want, but everybody have a good April Fool's Day. Until next time.